Hello and welcome to Blush, the world's first wellness show that's actually entertaining. I'm Hiva and I quit law so I can help you look and feel your best. Together, we get into food, nutrition, all the latest wellness trends, but we also laugh, get silly, drop a few F-bombs, and go on a million tangents. So if that sounds like your vibe, we're about to be best friends. Hi. Oh my God, I'm so fucking excited to be here. I'm so fucking excited to be recording. Now, I am sick, as is my little co-host here, but we both decided to show up to work like the consummate professionals that we are. Now, she is drinking on the job, so some of us are a little more professional than others, but that's neither here nor there. And if you're not watching on video, I'm referring to Sam as the stoolie. Also, if you're not watching on video, all the times that I refer to the co-host, I'm talking about Samantha, my dog. So she's here sometimes. You're missing out a lot if you're not watching on video, but that's your journey, and I really, as much as I will give you shit for it every single week, I am you. I don't really watch any podcasts. I exclusively listen, so I get it. Like, I literally am you. I don't know why I'm mouthing off over here. Anyway, so she has this little stuffed animal toy that looks like a Modelo, like the beer, but it says Doggello. It's so fucking funny. And she's snuggling with it while podcasting, and she's a little shaky. I think because she doesn't feel great, and honestly, I wasn't going to bring her in here. There were a lot of configurations of this I was going to do. My first option was to do it while I'm healthy, but that option did not present itself to me. So here we are. I've been sick more times this year than I think I've been like in the entire past 15 years of my life. There is something going on with like my sinus. Actually, okay, you know what? Can I just explain exactly what keeps happening to me? And I want to know if you can relate to this. Please, for the love of God, contact me. I don't care how you contact me, DM me, email me. I mean, those are kind of the predominant options, but like, look me up in the white pages and show up at my fucking door. Okay. I don't care. We need to talk if you have heard of anything like this. So I keep saying it's my sinuses, but maybe this is my sinuses. I don't actually know. Where my problem area is right above my soft palate. So if you're not familiar with that concept, you know, the roof of your mouth, right? I'm running my tongue along it. Okay, so the front parts of it are harder. That's kind of like, I was going to say it feels like you have teeth above there, but that's literally not where your teeth are. It's behind your teeth. But like, it's harder. Like right behind your teeth, that part of the roof of your mouth is harder. And then if you like keep running your tongue along the roof of your mouth back towards your throat. I love how I'm explaining what a soft palate is. I think everyone listening is like, bitch, we know. Like, you're the one who doesn't know the meaning to words. We know. Nevertheless, I'm going to get into it just in case. So if you keep running your tongue back towards your throat on the roof of your mouth, it then gets softer and like spongy. Kind of right above there is my problem area. I don't know what kind of demon is hanging out up there causing ruckus, but something is wrong up there. I don't know what that is because I'm not so congested in my nose. I get a little postnasal drip, which is coming from that area. And the symptoms are slightly different every time. This time I have extreme pressure. Like my head hurts, my hair hurts, like the tops of my teeth hurt. Like that's how much pressure there is. But I've had various versions of this so many times this year, and I don't fucking know what it is. I get extreme brain fog. I get extremely run down, but not like so run down that it's like, oh, I have the flu. Like it's kind of a type of rundown where you could operate at that level. But the thing is, like, I'm not 100%. And I feel like I've been fighting through this brain fog like pretty much all year. Like, anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's neither here nor there. So yes, Sam's here. I'm here. We're present. We're ready to go. It's the second Tuesday of the month. We're doing Hot or Not. We have some fun trends. Before we talk about that, we do have to talk about the fact that I'm pretty sure we have a ghost in the apartment. There have been several little ghost sightings, if we want to call it that. Number one, actually, I can't remember the first thing that happened. I do remember there was one thing that happened that I was like, that's odd. And it just wasn't enough to like really, but I do remember being like, it was something like I misplaced something and then the next day it was in the right place. And I was like, but I know I didn't put it back in its right place. How did it get here? But sometimes you do things and you forget that you've done them, right? So that in and of itself wasn't much for me. Then the next thing that happened was okay, so we have 2 fridges right now. It's a whole thing. I'm really hoping the landlord just has forgotten and doesn't come to get the second fridge, because let me tell you what a privilege 2 fridges are. Like, if you haven't lived the 2 fridge lifestyle and you're kind of like a hungry type of girly, oof, 2 fridges will change your fucking life. Anyway, so one of the fridges, one of the shelves in it keeps falling, like one side just falls, like it falls. I think you know what falling means. Okay, so we don't have to do a repeat of soft pallet gate, right? So one side of it keeps falling. I don't know how to fix it. Ozzy fixes it every time. And so he was out of town for a few weeks and it had fallen and I kept trying to fix it. I didn't know how to fix it. So finally I was like, fuck it. I'll just put something tall, like a tall jar underneath that side so it doesn't entirely fall down. And then one day I'm in the middle of sending my friends a voice memo, which is why I remember it so crystal clearly. I go in the fridge to grab something and the shelf is perfect. And the thing that it was leaning on wasn't even there anymore. It was moved to the side. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, did I fix this? Because I don't think I did. In fact, I know I'm not capable of fixing it. I know because I've tried many times and it continues to not get fixed. So whatever. I thought that was weird. But again, I don't know, maybe my hand hit it and it fixed itself. Like there are everything that I'm going to say. There are, I think, potentially reasonable explanations for every single one of them. They're just fucking weird is all. So that was one thing. And I go, is there like a helpful ghost in the house? Because there was something else that was fixed for me recently, and I feel like I didn't do that one either. Now, the real kicker for me was this incident that happened a couple weeks later. Ozzy was back. So this was during, oh my God, okay, this was during my super social week, the Halloween week, which by the way, I ended up missing the last 2 things. But in all fairness, it's because I got sick, which is what happens to me when I'm pushed to socialize too much. Anyway, so the second thing of that week that I had to go to, that day, I was really bloated, and not to be gross, but I was like gassy bloated. And so I was trying to I have different types of bloat pills for different things, but this one specifically, the Hilma ones, I think are really great for gas. They have peppermint oil in them, and I think that works so quickly for gas. So I, kind of painful trapped gas, and I kept trying to find those pills. I could not find them, and I was kind of running out of time, and I really had to run and get ready, and I was just flustered and overwhelmed. And so Ozzy's like, okay, you go get ready, I'll try to find the bloat pills. And I go, okay, great. They're in a green, kind of mint green colored bottle with a white cap. The brand is called Hilma, blah 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 blah. There's one drawer, it's a kind of like a spice drawer, like a thinner drawer with 3 levels that we keep all our supplements in, or most of our supplements in, I should say. And so I said, it's got to be somewhere in there, blah, blah, blah. But if you can't find them, maybe we're just out. So I'm in the back, doing my skincare, pulling my hair into a tight bun. You know how she does, gelling my eyebrows, yada, yada, yada. By the way... Wait, by the way, okay, quick tangent within this story. Oh my God. So I have started posting the episodes on YouTube. They don't get hardly any views at all on YouTube. So I was uploading, I think last week's Blush Kitchen or something, and I saw that one of the recent episodes had a couple of comments, which, like I said, they don't really get any views, so they don't really get any comments. So I clicked to see what the comments were. And the first one said there was a time code and it said thank you. And there was some emoji, which I kind of glossed over. And the second one had another time code and it said, yeah, that really did it for me. And so I click on the time code because I'm thinking, oh my God, what did I say that helped this person so much? Oh my God, it really did it for them. Like, how exciting is that? I must have said something really profound and interesting. So I click on the time code and I get there and I don't remember what I was saying, but whatever it was, I didn't think it was that interesting or profound or deep at all. And I keep watching it and rewatching it and rewatching it. And I'm like, I have not one iota of a clue. And then I go to the first comment and I click on that timestamp and I'm like, wait, what is this person thanking me for? And then I look at the emoji and it's the feet emoji. And then I go back to that first timestamp, and at the first timestamp, exactly at that moment, I put my foot on the screen. And then I went back to the second timestamp, and in the second timestamp, I'm actually demoing what I was doing there. I was just kind of playing with my big toe a little bit. I didn't have socks on or slippers on. I was just kind of massaging my big toe. It honestly felt really good for me. And apparently it really did something for this person. So to that person, I'd like to say, you're welcome. I'm happy to sell you feet pictures if you want to pay me, 6 to 7 digits. My feet have a very big ego. What can I say? One time I was on a yacht. Hold on. I don't know that it was a yacht. If I've ever been on a yacht, that was it. I guess I'm not entirely sure what makes a boat a yacht? What characteristics push a boat into yachtdom versus just being a regular boat? By the way, we are going to go back to the ghost story. Don't forget. That's become my entire personality. Don't forget. I won't forget. You don't worry. We will get to the ghost story. I was on this boat. Basically, very long story short. I'm not going to make it short. I'll try to make it as succinct as I can. One of my best friends was dating this guy. She was in school in an island. That's all I'm going to say. And she was dating this guy, just because if I get into more details, it'll identify who I'm talking about, at least to anyone who knows this person. She was dating this guy who's probably the worst person I've ever met in my life. Him, and there was this girl I knew growing up. Oh my God. She's actually the worst person I've ever met in my entire fucking life. Like, this person is... I'm going to say something kind of crazy. I think this person could be the devil. This girl, I'll just say her name because I don't give a fuck. Her name's Ari. She is the worst person I've ever met in my entire life. Our parents are friends. I don't know what they did to her growing up, but I think it's possible that she is Satan. Like, she literally is a human personification of Satan. She's actually evil. Like, there's something really wrong with her. If she had her way, I wouldn't be alive right now. I'll put it like that. Like, she was 4 years older than me, and she constantly created scenarios to try to get me put in like serious physical harm is the only way I can describe it. Like, she purposefully created scenarios in which she knew I would be in physical danger. Like, she's actually psychotic. Like, there's something so fucking wrong with this person. So she's the worst person I've ever met. This guy that my friend dated is a second. He's not quite to her level because I don't think he's evil, but he is a massive, massive, massive asshole. He was very wealthy though, so I will give him that. And that's kind of where his positive attributes start and end. He's cute. He's so cute. That's it. That's literally it. I can't say a single other good thing about him. He is the rudest person I've ever met. Like, it's actually insane how he speaks to people. Anyway, so I went down to visit her. It was hands down the worst 5 days of my life. I'm not going to get into all the details right now just because I don't have any trauma therapy lined up. But one of the days we're on his boat, which I think might qualify as a yacht. Again, I'm not entirely sure. With a bunch of his friends who are all actually quite lovely people. I will give them that. But I really kind of was like the asshole in this scenario. My tummy hurt. I really had to poo, but I didn't want to poo on the boat. And because I had to poo, I didn't want to drink because I didn't want I just didn't want to consume anything. So I was just kind of like clenching my butt cheeks and like physically uncomfortable, plus just uncomfortable with my scenario there. And everyone knew each other and I was sober and everyone's drunk. And I just like, I wasn't being very fun. Like I will fully own that I wasn't being very fun. And I just felt so uncomfortable with everything that was happening around me. Like that relationship was so toxic, and this is someone who I really care about. So I was just like feeling all of the feelings of that. And, you know, at the time I didn't have as good of boundaries. So anything that happened to anyone, it was like it was happening to me. Anyway, so I was just kind of going through a lot, and I was like kind of just being hermity and weird. And I just didn't know how to talk to anyone. Like, have you ever been in that scenario where everyone kind of knows each other and is having fun, and for whatever reason, you just aren't being very fun that day? And it's like, I'm aware that I'm the wet blanket and I just like don't even know how to stop. Anyway, so there was this guy on the boat and he comes over. He's like, oh my God, you have the most beautiful feet. And I said, really? These old things? And he's like, yeah, wait, can I just look at your foot real quick? And I was like, sure. Like, what a weird thing to ask. So he picks up my foot like it's an inanimate object. Like it was my purse. Like he's like, oh my God, I love your purse. Can I take a look at it? Picks up my foot and is just like twisting it around, admiring it, like as though it's not attached to my body. Okay. Anyway, long story short, I think for 2 hours he took photos with my feet. I'm not even joking. Like he was like, there was a whole photo shoot. Like there was someone else standing behind me. My face wasn't in any of these photos. He's just using my feet as props in these photos, like putting my feet on like either side of his head and taking photos with them. And I was like, honestly, this is the least offensive thing that's happened to me since I've been on this island, this trip. So I will take it, please, as long as you need to use my feet. It's like an excuse. Like, have you ever been to a party or a situation where, again, you're being socially awkward, you're the problem. I'm not saying anyone else is at fault here. And it's like you just don't have anything to do, so you start trying to find ways to make yourself useful. It's like, let me help the caterers, like let me any way that I can find a thing to do so that I'm not just awkwardly standing around. I was like, you know what, use my feet. It's a good excuse for me not talking to anyone. Okay, so now that we're done with all the feet stories, let's go back to the ghost. So I'm super bloated. I'm painfully bloated. I'm doing my skincare. Ozzy comes in. He's like, I'm so sorry. I searched high and low in that cabinet. I really cannot find the bloat pills. And I say, you know what? It's no big deal. I'm sure I just finished them and I forgot that I finished them. So I start Googling, and by Googling, I mean asking ChatGPT what else I can do for kind of rapid instant relief. And I go back to the kitchen. I put a pot of hot water on because I was going to make this little herb blend for myself. And then I go to the sink. I think I wash my hands or something. I don't know, whatever a person does at a sink. And then I turn around, and sitting right in the middle of the kitchen counter is the Hilma bloat pills. And I said, hey, I thought you said you couldn't find them. And he said, no, I didn't. And I said, well, then what's this? And he looked over and he's like, are you fucking with me? And I said, no, are you fucking with me? What are you talking about? And so this goes on for a while. Neither of us was fucking with the other. Neither of us really know what happened. Now, there are plausible, reasonable explanations. For example, and we're really kind of like running through it. He's like, I don't know, maybe as I was going through that cabinet, I grabbed this without seeing it and put it on the counter and never saw it, and I just never registered that I did that. I mean, that's so far-fetched. And then what's even more far-fetched than that is I then walked in the kitchen, did 20 things, also didn't see it until I turned around from the sink. Like, it doesn't track. It makes more sense that there's a friendly ghost. Like, it really is becoming the most reasonable explanation. So that's one thing that happened. And then so those were all kind of like things for me, and they've been helpful things. And then a couple of things have happened to Ozzy that are less friendly. It's like, for example, the other day he turned on the dryer And then a minute later, the dryer was not only not on, but the door was wide open, like as though he had never turned it on. And he's like, I swear to God, I turned it on. Like, I'm positive. I know I shut the door. I know I heard the buttons beep. And I was like, I thought you did too. I really did think you did too. And there was something else that happened to him. I can't remember. I really can't remember what it was, but it was another thing where he thought he did something and it was undone. So my working theory is that there is a ghost. It's a man. He's in love with me, obviously, because he has eyes and ears. I mean, hello, I'm cute and I'm funny. Why wouldn't he love me? And he is fucking with Ozzy so that he can be my number one mans. And you know what? I very much welcome this energy. Let the games begin, baby. I will let them duel over me if that's what it comes to. I think Ozzy's in the next room listening, being like, no, the ghost can have you. Truly, you fucking psycho bitch. So yeah, that's how my life's going right now. Anyway, it is the second Tuesday of the month, so I think we should get into trends. But before we get into trends, there's actually something I want to talk about. It could be a bit of a trend, if you will. It's not like a technical health and wellness trend, but we are going to talk about it because I want to. So there was a Vogue article that I actually have not read, by the way, but I do think we should talk about it. I'm going to pull it up right now. You know what? Maybe I'll read little excerpts of it right now aloud so that we can discuss it. I'm sure you've heard of the article by now. It's called "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" Which, yes, it is. I can go ahead and tell you that now without reading. Oh my God, excuse me. We're on an audio platform.
My mom has always kind of been
What the fuck is this?
a great impact on my life.
Shh. Okay, we will not be reading that article because it won't stop talking. So, but I believe the conclusion is that it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend, or not quite to that extent, but just that men are stupid and there really is kind of no point to having a boyfriend anymore. Now that women are, able to be financially independent, it's literally what's the point? Now that we can hire plumbers, now that we can, hire people to do things that we once needed men to do, and we can earn that money to hire those men to do the things, then why even bother? I don't know if the article goes into this, but there are a lot of statistics on how this is just for straight women. It's not like this for lesbians. But straight women, or for straight people in general. So when straight men get married, they become more successful, happier, and live longer. When straight women get married, they are less happy, less successful, and live shorter. So marriage really is this institution that seems to singularly benefit men in the heteronormative context. Now, I have a few things to say about this. Obviously, I have a boyfriend. I really love my boyfriend. I do think that my boyfriend is the exception to the rule, in that he is exceptionally helpful around the house. And that's kind of it. Oh, well, no. And he's super, super feminist, and he never does anything shady, and I never have to worry about him and all these other things. Right. But I think the big thing is that he's a good guy. He actually makes my life better on the net. I do think that historically every other relationship I've had, for the most part, I'm just looking back on it, I'm literally, what was the point of that? What was the point of that unnecessary stress that I took on? What was the point of me having to raise this little man child? And by the way, Ozzy is really, really good for a guy, but think about it. Think about how often we talk about how good Ozzy is as a guy. That's how low the bar is. Do you know how often Ozzy and his friends and his family talk about oh, Hiva cleaned, or Hiva did laundry, or Hiva cooked? No, those are just the expectations that we have on women. But when a man does something, all of a sudden it's this big party celebration. Oh my God, let's throw a fucking parade. A man knew how to do a fucking dish. So that's number one. I guess, okay, here's what I want to say about this ultimately. As much as I love to shit on men, I actually think this is a woman problem, and let me explain why. How is it that we are living in a society where there's this huge stereotype and trope of women are dying to settle down and get married, and men are the one rebuffing and rejecting it when the institution of marriage singularly benefits them. They should be knocking down our doors, begging, pleading, crying on their knees, like stomping around, having tantrums, begging us to settle down with them. How is it that we as women have given so much power away that we seem to be begging to be in these institutions that don't even benefit us? Like, that's fucking nuts. So do I think having a boyfriend is embarrassing? No. But what I do think is embarrassing, which I see so often in society, is having your sense of self-worth be dependent on a man liking you. And we see this all the fucking time. Like, how many people do you, like, think about how girls act when they get engaged. Like, oh my God, he loves me. Like, he wants to be with me. Like, yeah, as he should. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you didn't see how good you were until some man gave you a stone? Are you out of your fucking mind? I mean, think about how many friends you know where all they talk about is either their love life or once they're in a relationship, they're boyfriends. You know, I had this friend who I'm not friends with anymore. I talked about her a lot last year because that friendship ending was really, really painful. Just to jog your memory, this is the friend who last year when I was literally suicidal and my dog was like out of control sick and I was just drowning, like literally drowning in how hard it was. She not once checked in on me, asked how I was doing, much less offered to help or anything. We're not friends anymore. Anyway, so our friendship really started to change when she found her partner, right? Like when she was single, she was a great friend. As soon as she found a boyfriend, she not only like stopped really being a friend in all the ways that I just listed, but also anytime we talked, all she would talk about is her boyfriend. Like she would just like disappear for like weeks at a time and then reappear and be like, oh my God, Max bought me this, Max bought me that. Like, ooh, let me tell you about all the gifts that Max bought me. Ooh, let me tell you about all the things that Max said. Like, ooh, let me tell you about all the things Max and I did. And it was just so embarrassing, honestly. Like it wasn't even annoying, it was embarrassing. Like I actually felt so embarrassed for her where I was like, you have a PhD, like you have a job that you're passionate about, you're so smart, you're interesting, you're pretty, and all you can fucking talk about is your boyfriend. Like that is so embarrassing for you. Like I'm actually embarrassed for you. And I was noticing this a lot this past week. By the way, I noticed that I say notice weird sometimes. Like I almost say it with a Midwestern tang. I don't know, twang. I don't know what that is. Tang. Sure, whatever. I was watching a lot of Bravo this week, you know, because I'm sick. And every single Housewives franchise that I watched this week, I noticed there was so much like emphasis on whether a guy likes you or not, right? In one episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, I saw it 3 or 4 times. Number one, that new bitch Angel, don't like her. Sorry, Angel. I know she's a big listener of the show. Sorry, I don't really fuck with you. The amount that she talks about her husband and how he is an ex-NFL player, but that's not even the point. It's like she just constantly, like she thinks her sense of self-worth comes from the fact that she's with an NFL player or that she even has a husband to begin with. There's another one who at some point, like their fights so there are 2 of them that were fighting and one of them's like, yeah, I know that you're stressed because like things aren't good with your boyfriend, but don't take it out on me. And the other one's like, no, I know you're stressed because your husband cheats on you. And she's like, no, I know you're stressed because your husband talks down on you. It's like, bitch, both of you should be stressed because neither of you seem to have anything going on in your lives other than your romantic partners. And then like one of them is like, well, at least like I've never been the other woman. And the other one's like, I've never been the side chick, but I've always been the fiance. And it's like, okay, for number one, you haven't always been the fiance. Just like by definition, that's not how it works. Clearly you don't know what a fiance means. But number 2, it's so clear that she's like, well, look at me. I'm good enough for someone to propose to and no one has proposed to you. It's like all of these people are comparing themselves to each other based on whether they have a boyfriend, how good that boyfriend is, and how good that boyfriend treats them, how much money he spends on them. And it's fucking embarrassing. Like, you should be fighting over how much money you guys make, about how much the shit you're doing. If you're gonna have petty dumb fights, fight about your own shit. Don't act like being loved by a man is this prize and this trophy, because quite frankly, being loved by a man should be the bare fucking minimum. Okay, they're like barn animals. It would be like celebrating that a pig looked at you. Okay, hold on, the door. Anyways, I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the door, it would be like celebrating that, like, oh, the goat let me pet it. Yeah, of course the goat fucking let you pet it. It has half a brain cell, okay? All it wants is to be pet. The goat is getting more from this transaction than you are. Why don't you get this? As women, we need to understand men are getting more from this transaction than we are. It shouldn't mean that much to us. And this is coming from the girl who was the most desperate ever to find a boyfriend. So like, I trust me. I get it. Okay. And now I want to contrast it with my friend. I'm also going to maybe I won't use her real name just in case. So I have this friend, let's just call her Megan. Cool ass bitch. So she is this boyfriend now. They've been dating for a few months. They've known each other for a while, but I'd say they've probably been together for over 6 months now. I don't know. I actually don't know. And you know why I don't know? Because Megan never fucking talks about him. Never talks about him. It's almost like he doesn't exist. I was joking the other day. I was like, I feel like if I weren't asking about it from time to time, like a few years from now, I might get a wedding invitation and be like, wait, when did you guys start dating? Like, I literally have no idea. And you know why she doesn't talk about it? It's because Megan talks about her art. She talks about her hobbies. She talks about her interests. We talk about spirituality. We talk about manifestation. We talk about energetics. We talk about self-development. We talk about self-improvement. We talk about all these fucking things because our plates are so fucking full that, like, who gives a shit about a boyfriend? Oh yeah, I started dating someone. Ooh, we had sex. Ooh, it was good. Who gives a fuck? We've all done it. Like, grow up. Like, I am just so sick of this narrative. And again, I love shitting on men. Okay. I've done it 20 times already this episode. It's so fun, but I don't think we can blame this on men, because men only do what we allow them to do. Again, they're like barn animals. If your pig escapes from its pen, we don't blame the pig. We blame you because you didn't build the pen well enough. I really don't know a lot about farms or like barn animals at all. But you know what I mean? It's your fault. Your brain is bigger. You should have done it better. And I also don't like to shit on women. I really don't, because I think we get it every which way. I just really want to say, I think, can we all just collectively try to decenter men a little bit more from our lives? And you know what? When you do that, I think that you'll find far more fulfilling relationships. And I think that your relationships overall will flow a lot better when you put so much less emphasis on it in your life. I kind of want to end the episode now. I feel like I've said a lot, and I just don't know that it's going to be any better. And honestly, the wellness trends were kind of meh. Let me see if there's anyone. No, none of them are worth it. Let's just end it here. You know what's like a good wellness trend that we should all embark on this week? Prioritizing yourself, and actually truly prioritizing yourself. I don't mean like doing a little self-care, because most of us don't do self-care for self-prioritization reasons. We do self-care because it's like, ooh, I'm gonna do this face mask, and in the back of your mind it's like, ooh, because if I look better then this could happen or that could happen or whatever. Let's actually try to really prioritize ourselves this week. Let's really try to focus on our gifts, our strengths, what makes us happy, what we're good at, what we want to be good at, what we can share with people, and just bring all those things to the light in a really authentic way. Let's all just take a week where we try to validate ourselves internally rather than using outside factors, men in relationships being one of them, but also other things like career and amount of money we make and physical objects we own, all of these things. Let's just take a week where we really feel an internal sense of validation instead of letting these outside things affect us and influence us. How does that sound? Let's just wrap it up here and we'll check in next week, okay? Love ya. Bye. If you loved that episode as much as I hope you did, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and check out some past episodes while you wait for the new one to drop next week. And until next week, make sure to stay cunty out there.